Okay. Well, it's been an interesting week, and I have quite the bit of news. And I just want to first start by saying that my YouTube account was stolen from me this past weekend. But it actually gets worse. So I want to start from the beginning of this story. So a couple of days after Christmas, I started to develop the flu. This meant that I was unable to make any videos or film any content, even though I had a couple of weeks off of work. And I was planning on doing a lot. I was planning on filming a lot. I was planning on getting a lot done. But when you have the flu, it feels like there's a belt strapped around the top of your head and it's pulled really tight. So I really couldn't look at screens or anything like that. So this meant that my video last week was delayed a couple of days. So usually I release on Saturdays or Sundays, but I had to release on Monday. Well, after I did this, I shut down my computer because I wanted to take a nap. And after I did that, I was planning on trying to film some more videos as I was starting to feel a little bit better, but I was still kind of bedridden. I just wanted and needed to get something out this past week. So I go to turn on my computer and nothing happens. Didn't know what to do, but the hard drive started making a click, 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 beep, click, 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 beep noise. And so basically that meant that my hard drive was toast. Now, on that hard drive, I had every single Sony Vegas file of every video I've ever edited. And because that hard drive failed, that meant that I lost everything I'd ever edited. Now, I still had some backup files from some years past and some recent files, but those are just the raw files, not the actual edited photos. So that was probably, a couple thousand hours of work down the drain that I can't salvage at this point unless I recreate every single video. Anyways, this was on, I think, this was on Tuesday of last week. So I was home for the holidays. I was visiting my family in Pennsylvania. I live in Tennessee for reference. So on Friday, I came back home to Tennessee, and I had a new computer ordered to my house to replace the one that I had lost. It was an old PC that I had built about 5 years ago. It was pretty much time for an upgrade. It was getting slow anyways. So when I got back on that Saturday, I set my computer up. I got everything on it that I needed, and everything seemed to be good. I was ready to get back on track, right? Well, on Sunday morning, I checked my phone randomly at 8:30, and I had 2 email notifications. One, that my 2-factor authentication had been disabled and that my recovery phone number had been changed. What does this mean? Well, that meant that someone stole my YouTube account. Now, I probably don't need to understate how scary this whole thing was, especially in the moment, because you have information linked to your bank through your AdSense account. You have personal emails. You have, a number of things that in a second you have no access to. Now, I had never been hacked or lost anything like this before. There was one time like 5 years ago, someone kept logging into my Spotify account, but that was pretty much it. This is something that pretty much only happens to your 84-year-old grandma, or so you think. Well, at this point, I was freaking out, so I had no idea what to do. There's not a playbook or a person you can just talk to that, when you get your YouTube account hacked, right? And so I messaged Mint Blitz because I was like, yo, dude, panic alert number 1 million. I lost my YouTube account and I don't know what to do. Do you have any connections or do you know anybody that could potentially help me? And he pointed me into the way of Shyway, who is another Halo content creator. So I messaged Shyway and asked him what he did in this situation. And in that time, I also asked my Discord chat. I was like, guys, what do I do in this situation? I don't know what to do. They told me that pretty much the only way to get a hold of YouTube is to tag Team YouTube on X. So I tagged them 3 separate times in 3 separate posts, and they requested that I follow them so they could send me a DM. And after about an hour, I was able to get a form from one of their reps for a hijacking. Now, I filled out this form, and there were 2 methods that they sent me via email. One was an instantaneous recovery, and one was a manual recovery. Now, the instructions for the instantaneous recovery said that I would need to try to log in again, but clear all my cookies, my cache, my browser, my history, whatever have you. So I did that. And in this moment, my phone was, I think, at 2%. And while I was doing this, it had died. So I went to go charge it. And when I was charging it, I got a pink screen of death. So I couldn't get into my account, either with the instantaneous recovery or with the manual recovery, because I still needed 2-factor authenticate into my recovery email that I provided them. In a matter of a week, I had the flu. I lost my PC. I lost my phone. I lost my YouTube account. Now, I'm freaking out because there's no way for me to let people know. If I don't have access to my YouTube account, I can't tell you guys that this is happening. So I was really only able to inform the people in my Discord. Link in description if you want to go join that. But that was pretty much the only lifeline I had to the world of anybody who knows who I am. After that, I went to the Verizon store, and they told me that I couldn't buy a phone because I'm not the primary owner on the account. I tried to add me as an owner on the account when we were there. Didn't work. Was getting an error on Verizon's end. The guy in there told me to call a 611 number. I did this. I had to wait 30 minutes. Turns out it was T-Mobile. He gave me the wrong number, right? So I had driven home 30 minutes at this point, and I had to call Verizon, get them to activate that, and get back to Verizon later. So I drove 2 hours round trip, drove there and back, and then there and back again. But $800 later, I had the phone to authenticate into my account, and eventually I was able to do that successfully. In that as well, I also felt like I wasn't doing enough with the YouTube channel, and this was kind of a wake-up call. Because of that, I created a Patreon. So this is going to have exclusive content that you're only going to be able to see on Patreon. And one of the things that, is a little bit scary is if you lose your YouTube account, you lose access to any revenue that you have from that. And with that, you can't upload videos, so there's not a way to generate new revenue. And all of this combined, I probably spent $3,500. So it has been a wild ride, and not in the fun way. So, I'm not going to lie. This is one way for me to make money, but it's also a way for you guys to get exclusive content that I have been promising. I've been telling people I was going to make a Patreon, but I have not followed through to this point. So I'm holding myself accountable. I have 3 tiers. One is a $5 tier. This gives you access to complete VODs. So this is basically just a video on demand. You can watch the entire trick unedited. Some of them are 3 or 4 hours. You can watch all of them if you want more of the Shilt show. There is an $8 tier, which gives you access to all of the VODs, but it also gives you access to decade-old skits and gaming videos that have since been unlisted on YouTube because it's 2014 humor, so it's not really the same day and age of YouTube, but it gives you access to all members of the Shilt Show in the skits that we did. So my brother and I were the main people in the skits and the gaming videos, so you'll be able to see that. It's kind of a flashback into the past, so that's cool. And then I have a 3rd tier, which is $11 per month, and that gives you access to both of those things I just mentioned, but also live streams. So people have been asking for live streams for a very long time. I'm just going to be honest. I have Starlink, and my upload speed is 4 to 5 megabits per second. So I can't stream on regular platforms like Twitch or YouTube until I move out of this house that I'm renting in like 6 months. Basically, you will get a Discord invite to a special Discord chat where I will tell you that I'm going live, and then I will be streaming it on Discord as well. So you can interact and be a part of the show, and, you'll see you'll be able to interact with me first person, I guess, which is something that I did in the very far past. Probably 3 years ago is the last time I streamed. Not really something that I wanted to do, but I think it's time, and I think I'm ready to do it. So I think that'll be really cool. So if you want exclusive access to the Discord chat, I'm still figuring out how all the tier works on Patreon and stuff, but trust me, I will have regular content every single week. Because people are paying me, it gives me an incentive to not let people down. So I actually have someone in charge of the Patreon that is going to be publishing that regular content every single week. So you'll be able to see that. And I think it'll be really cool. But overall, this experience has been pretty terrible. It has definitely been a wake-up call for me. And I just wanted to provide everyone with an insight into, why a video is delayed this week and kind of what I've been experiencing, because not all has been flowers and sunshine in the Shilt Show YouTube world as of late. So yeah, the Patreon link is below. I appreciate all of you guys, and regular content is going to be coming back this week. I might be delayed a couple days. It might be Sunday, maybe Monday. It might even be Saturday. But if you're interested in the Patreon, it's another way to support me up until I start live streaming, and then I'll probably remove that live stream tier. If there's any concerns with the prices, let me know. If they need to be a little bit lower, happy to do whatever. But that's just kind of my initial thought. It's $5, $8, $11, and it gives you perks that you won't be able to see anywhere else, only on Patreon. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, and make sure you don't rely on Windows Defender. Okay. People say that it's safe, but it's really not. I don't know what happened with this computer, but it may have came with malware or a virus or something. But just be safe, because this can happen to anybody. This is the first time it happened to me, but it is a very scary process, and it has been quite the few days. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it, and see you next week.